With the new My Lowe's Pro Rewards American Express card, earn 3 points per dollar spent on Lowe's qualifying purchases for the first 6 months after card account opening. Plus, save 5% every day on eligible purchases at Lowe's and earn points on eligible purchases everywhere else Amex is accepted. Card members get more at Lowe's. Subject to credit approval. 5% can't be combined with any other offer. Exclusions and restrictions apply. Points subject to loyalty terms at Lowe's.com/terms and credit reward terms at Synchrony.com/MLPRA-terms. Visit Lowe's.com/business credit.
Ever notice how life's best stories don't happen in your living room? They happen on the open road, out on the water, or parked under the stars. At Progressive, they get that you want to focus on the experience, not worry about the what-ifs. That's why they offer quality insurance designed for your ride, whether that's a boat, RV, or motorcycle. Adventure with confidence. Visit Progressive.com and see how easy it is to protect your favorite way to get away. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in D.C. Prices vary based on how you buy.
On today's Smart 7, US and Iran exchange strikes as talks continue, Tony Blair intervenes in Labour leadership contest, and much more. It's Thursday, 28th of May, it's World Hunger Day, and happy birthday, Kylie Minogue.
The Smart 7. It's news, but not the news.
The US and Iran exchanged strikes on Wednesday as they continue to wrestle over the finer points of a potential deal to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Iranian TV reported on a version of a 14-point plan, which would see Iran and Oman jointly control the strait and reopen it in exchange for the US lifting its blockade. It's not clear if that is the proposal, and the White House was quick to deny it, calling it a complete fabrication, while President Trump, speaking at a cabinet meeting, was keen to downplay the notion that he's under any time pressure to make a deal. He's also keen that Iran now needs to sign the Abraham Accords and normalise Tehran's relationship with Israel.
I'm not sure we should make the deal if they don't sign. You want to know the truth? If they don't sign to join the Abraham Accords, I don't know that we have countries in there already. It's turned out to be so good, so effective.
That seems like an unlikely prospect and could derail the whole deal while the world continues to struggle with rising energy costs. UK consumers will face a hefty rise in energy bills with the new energy price cap, which kicks in from July, climbing by 13%. Tim Jarvis from energy regulator Ofgem says there's not much they can do.
It is a big increase. It's driven in almost entirely by the events in the Middle East and what's happening to global gas prices, and that is leading to the increase today.
There was an unexpected intervention in the upcoming Labour leadership contest on Wednesday as Tony Blair joined the chat. He's not planning on running for Keir Starmer's job. He's quite busy with his foundation and with helping Donald Trump's International Board of Peace, but he definitely had thoughts. He wrote a highly critical essay demanding a fresh approach from Labour and Number 10 in particular, calling for a move to the radical centre rather than what he called the party's current position in the comfort zone.
If you're looking at the situation of the country in a rational way, you've got to come to terms with some of these problems, and you can't just hope that they solve themselves.
The intervention sparked sharp criticism from both Andy Burnham and Wes Streeting, accusing the former PM of misunderstanding the role that inequality is playing in the economy. Blair's suggestion that the government focus more on business and less on net zero will appeal to some Labour members, according to Labour peer Lord Wood.
I think what he has done is fire the starting gun on a race to see who can come up with a plausible idea of where Britain should be going. And we've gone in the last few years from crisis to crisis, but we have to have politicians that stand up and set out a vision of the kind of country they want to build. Wes Streeting may have quit as health secretary, but some things don't change, and one of those things is the resident doctors' continuing campaign to get more money out of the government. They've announced another round of strikes, this time due to run from the 15th to the 19th of June, unless they get an improved offer on pay and working conditions. New Health Secretary James Murray has only been in the job for 2 weeks, but he described the latest pay claim as unrealistic, unaffordable and unsustainable. That didn't please the chair of the BMA's Resident Doctor Committee, Dr Jack Fletcher, who says the lack of a settlement is forcing doctors out of the NHS.
We are facing a genuine crisis in medicine from a workforce perspective at the minute. I think it's absurd that we are talking about literally hundreds, if not thousands, of doctors actively looking to leave the NHS in just a few weeks.
The head of spy agency GCHQ had some bad news on Wednesday. Anne Keyes-Butler, who was appointed to the role in 2023, has decided that in the interests of transparency, she will begin an annual lecture to update on the latest threats to the UK. Russia featured highly on that list, with Keist Butler describing relentless targeting of Britain's infrastructure and democracy, with China a close second in terms of high-tech threats to the UK. GCHQ's brief is to specialise in electronic intelligence and in particular protect from cyber attacks, but the spy chief also had new data on Ukraine and the level of casualties that Kyiv has been inflicting on Russian forces.
As we remain steadfast in our support for Ukraine, Putin is going backwards, with new intelligence showing that almost 500,000 Russian soldiers have been killed.
Still to come on today's Smart 7 in association with Metro, a European trophy for Crystal Palace, and there's a new Homes in town. Right after this. Welcome back. Wednesday night saw Oliver Glasner take charge of Crystal Palace for the last time. However, that was for the final of the Europa Conference League, with another trophy on the line as Palace faced off in Leipzig against Spanish side Rayo Vallecano. Glasner's team were focused and determined and won the game 1-0 to make it 3 trophies in 12 months and start celebrations amongst the many fans in the stadium. The Austrian was typically modest after the win as he wrapped up his 2 years with the club.
The players, our fans, they give me and my family who is here today also great, incredible days in my life, and that's what I really appreciate, and that they always listening, they were always supporting.
For All Mankind, the highly rated Apple TV sci-fi show is getting a spin-off. We're on the 5th season of the original show, where the space race never ended and mankind has in part moved to the moon. The new spin-off Star City tells the story from the Russian point of view, and who better to play a Russian than Wales's finest Rhys Ifans. He stars as a character known only as the chief designer, the brains behind the Russian space program. He says it was a unique challenge.
I was just interested in playing a guy that he held so much of the knowledge himself. It wasn't a collection of scientists and physicists and engineers. He had so much of the knowledge, so it was a huge weight, the weight of the world and the moon on his shoulders.
There are quite a lot of Sherlock Holmeses knocking around, as the iconic British detective created by Arthur Conan Doyle has been a favourite of TV and cinema for some time. In fact, he is the most portrayed character in modern history, with the most recent version, the Guy Ritchie TV series Young Holmes. The latest Holmes movie is not in fact about Sherlock, rather it's the 3rd instalment of his sister's adventures, Enola Holmes, starring Millie Bobby Brown, Louis Partridge and Henry Cavill as Sherlock himself. The latest movie in the series hits cinemas in July.
Life was everything I wanted it to be, when it was just the two of us. So whilst my life seemed completely uncomplicated, my dear Lord decided to add a slight complication.
Enola Euphoria Holmes, will you take I to be your husband?
Yes, I was surprised too.
You've been listening to the Smart 7. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Hit that follow button and have a great day. Give us 7 minutes and we'll give you the world.